Good to see you again, and I'm hoping as we go on this edition, we will put smiles on the faces of our esteemed viewers here in Nigeria, across the continent, and even beyond. I'm Ifeanyi Okafor. You're welcome to the program Biotechnology in Focus. The Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology in Africa is strategic in its passion to promote biotechnology. The potentials of agricultural biotechnology is indeed enormous. It was the official opening ceremony of high-level conference on application of science, technology and innovation in harnessing African agricultural transformation at Kampala, Uganda. In attendance were the President of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, Right Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Ministers, Members of Parliament and members of the diplomatic missions, as well as delegates to the conference comprising the African Agricultural Technology Foundation, AATF, the Common Markets for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMMESA, the African Biosafety Network of Expertise, ABNE, the Uganda National Council for Science and Technology, UNCST, and the Tropical Institute for Development Initiatives, TRIDI.
Government of Uganda and several other African governments represented here have made significant progress on some of the issues that we have agreed upon, including the role of the public-private partnerships in transforming Africa's agriculture, strengthening intellectual property rights to catalyze transformational change in Africa's agriculture, and managing climate change to enhance food security.
The high-level conference on harnessing science, technology and innovation is to help transform African agriculture. Experts deliberated on technological solutions to the myriads of challenges facing agriculture. The forum indicates the importance the government places on the use of technological know-how as the basis for development. They opine that advances in agricultural technologies and biosciences are tremendous and exponential, and the confluence among crop science, biology, chemistry, engineering and digital technology, among other disciplines, genetic engineering and gene editing, now rapidly changing the way seeds are produced.
We have been able to come up with disease and pest-resistant crops. We have in place soil-tolerant, water-use-efficient, and drought-tolerant crops through conventional breeding, through tissue culture and crop propagation, marker-assisted breeding, the use actually of advanced genetic engineering, and low diagnostic tools. We have been able to contribute in ensuring and guaranteeing agri-food availability.
Climate change impacts on food and agriculture could be very severe unless there are rapid reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. Currently, 70% of global agriculture is rain-fed, so it's at the mercy of changing weather patterns and rainfall intensity.
The theme of the conference, Integrating the Path in Africa's Agricultural Transformation, calls upon all Africans to diagnose what is ailing in the continent's agriculture and prescribe the right medicine for curing the disease. The theme reminds all Africans of the need to identify and align all tools needed to put the continent firmly and sustainably onto the path towards peak performance. It indicates that the latest FAO statistics show that crop yields in sub-Saharan Africa have stagnated at about 1 ton per hectare over the last 5 decades, whereas other developing regions such as Asia and Latin America have more than doubled their crop yields during the same period. China's crop productivity per hectare is more than 3 times the corresponding average for sub-Saharan Africa. Although nearly 70% of Africans are farmers, they make a living from small plots with poor soils. The agricultural environment is further complicated by drought, pests, and diseases. About 65% of the world's remaining unutilized arable land is in Africa, yet Africa is unable to feed itself. Close to 250 million children are malnourished.
We have wealth. In fact, we are seeing people coming to use our land to produce food. Where have we been? Yeah? And when we see them, we begin grumbling. Yeah? Whose fault is that?
The specific objectives of the conference are to showcase the current potential impact of application of science, technology, and innovation for improved agricultural productivity, value addition, and poverty reduction, to share the synopsis of the current status of agriculture in Africa, capturing the past, current, and future trends, to showcase the significance of enabling systems in optimizing the impact and benefits of modern biotechnology to African agriculture. Also, to facilitate constructive dialogue amongst high-level policymakers, experts, farmers, investors, regulators, communicators, development partners, and the media on the role of STIs in sustainable food systems and nutrition in Africa.
That for you here, you are short of breakfast, you are short of lunch, you even leave the food on the plate. There are people who are eating, but there are no nutrients, and therefore they are going to be stunted and prone to diseases. We have limited access to quality health services for all at all ages. We have biting poverty, need for increased employment generation, wealth creation. We have environmental and climate change effects.
By 2020, the number of undernourished children would surpass 1 billion. This is by AgBio World 2011. So what are we doing about this? As a matter of urgency, we need to act, and the time is now.
The beginning point must be to increase investments in breakthrough technologies such as climate-resilient and disease-resistant crops and livestock. In response, the AATF has identified the following priority areas: crop productivity and stress management, mechanization and digital agriculture, policy and public acceptance, market systems and commercialization, nutrition, food quality, and post-harvest management. Let's hear the views, mixed reactions, and valid suggestions on biotechnology application.
Nigerian research agencies are doing a lot to see that we adopt improved technologies for agriculture. For example, we have the National Biotech Development Agency that their mandate is to coordinate all research activities, and so far they are making a lot of impact because we see the area of agriculture as one that is very vital, especially with economic revitalization in Nigeria. So there are a lot of researches that they are doing already on improving crops so that they can be insect resistant or pest resistant or disease resistant. So we have the Institute for Agricultural Research in Zaria. They are working on cowpea and cotton. They want to improve it so that it can be resistant to insects that affect cotton and also cowpea. So they are making a lot of effort to see that farmers do not spray a lot on the farm to control the use of insecticides, to control the use of pesticides, and also to produce crops that are resistant to diseases so that it can improve yield and productivity for farmers. So we also have the National Cereals Research Institute in Badegi, Niger State. Their mandate is to work on rice. So they are developing rice varieties that you don't have to use so much nitrogen on it. It's called New West rice. Nitrogen use efficient, water efficient, and salt tolerant rice. We also have the Research Institute in Umudike, National Root Crop Research Institute. They are improving cassava to be virus resistant. So far, Nigerian research institutes are doing a lot to improve agricultural productivity for farmers, especially as Nigeria is geared towards economic diversification.
Biotechnology is, for me, it has gone a long way in improving the society, from security to health to improved agricultural products. And the agencies in Nigeria, for instance, are doing a lot of research in making sure that farmers, for example, their yield, their productions, are the pains that they get from that, which is from pest attack, from different things that prevent them from having a good yield. Most agencies in charge of that are going a long way in making research, which is creating seed resistant varieties, pest resistant varieties, and that will go a long way in helping the economy. It will go a long way in helping farmers. It will go a long way in encouraging youth to go into farming because of the reduced pest attack, improved varieties of the new rice varieties, cowpea varieties. It will help the economy. It will help in developing the economy. It will help to reduce unemployment in the society. So the agency is doing pretty much in that aspect of agriculture.
Biotechnology involves the use of part of a plant or part of an organism to develop or improve crops, animals, and all of that. I think it has great impact on the society. Let's say in terms of mass production of food to cater for hunger and all of that, you can use biotechnology. There's this aspect called tissue culture that you can use to produce food in very large quantities. And then it also helps in the improvement of food to deal with malnutrition. You can use part of a plant that has every nutrition you need to put in a single plant. It helps to develop that also.
Biotechnology as a course is very broad. If you ask me what precisely it does, it's not a particular thing. Biotechnology has various aspects. Just like in medicine, it's very useful. In vaccine creation, that's what I've been used. Even in insulin to treat diabetic patients, biotechnology was used in doing that, using the recombinant DNA technology. Then in agriculture as well, in fact, it has a broad, it's broader when you talk of agricultural biotechnology, because you can talk of the tissue culture aspect, which is multiplication of plants, and then you can as well do the culture the plant in a way that you have whatever you want the plant to be. You want a better, like for example, let me take pineapple as a fruit. You want a succulent as a fruit company. You want a succulent, a juicy fruit. Tissue culture does that for you, which is a part of agric biotech. Then in animal-wise, you want your animal to be, to have a particular species, or you want it to have a particular trait or character. Biotechnology does that for you. Also through recombinant DNA technology, through genetic transformation and other procedures like that. Even in pharmacy, like insulin is pharmaceutical as well as medical. Even in treatment of some patients, in medical and pharmaceutical together. Then we have the environment, like all these wastes, all this solid waste, even liquid waste can be used as gas, can be transformed to gas using bioreservation and conservation in the environmental biotechnology aspect. as broad as it is, it has a very useful environment. If we can use it, it will go a long way to help us, even help the economy as well.
Let's go to the marketplace. We will be back on the program shortly.
Madam, put that big one for me.
This one? Customer.
Hey, customer. You must have done the say all these big oranges where yes in a GMO.
Show the GMOs again.
Now, wow, my sister. Who tell you say GMO did this country?
You read it everywhere for sound. Say all these big oranges, cassava and yam there. Say na GMO where Oyibo people bring to kill us.
Ah, my sister. All this big orange, yam, cassava where you dey see, not be GMO, na hybrid. You never hear WHO talk say GMO not be bad thing. Even our own government agency, NDMA, talk say them dey on top the matter for Niger. GMO never dey Niger market oh, and all those people where they tell you say GMO no good, themselves they eat them when they travel go Obodo Oyibo. Me self they pray, say make them bring and enter with Niger market, make we self follow enjoy. GMO, if it grow, whether rain fall or it no fall, it go kill pests and it no go affect your crop. In fact, it no carry disease for body. It get the vitamin where you need for body with them fit put inside. You know, say me I like a better thing. But still not fit stay inside river, so for the enter in eye.
This GMO good oh.
It's good well oh. Eh?
This program now from the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, OFAB in Africa, Nigeria chapter, supported by the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA, Abuja.
On our guest of the week, we spoke to Desmond Yahman, a legal practitioner. He bared his mind on the legal perspectives and policies that promote the use and application of biotechnology.
I not always box up into specific definition or defined definition, but biotechnology, as you see, it is a technology that is set out to improve agricultural product in terms of quality and quantity. The technology that is being practiced globally and which is kind of new in Nigeria. Well, we're globally, there is this challenge of food sufficiency. Most part of the world, countries don't produce enough food to meet the need of the citizen. This technology is there to improve agricultural product, and which we need badly in Nigeria. Go to a part of this country, you see people that can barely feed, can barely survive. So I think it's a welcome development in Nigeria, in that the technology is needed to meet the food need of our country. Well, I would say yes, it's positioned to enhance agriculture, in that federal government has taken several steps in ensuring that biotechnology is not only introduced in Nigeria, it is properly regulated, it is properly managed. We have research institutions that is on biotechnology, biosafety, biotechnology food. We have the regulatory agency that came on board about 2 years ago. We also have the development agency of biotechnology. So the federal government has taken all necessary steps. And the federal government has also signed some of the protocols, global protocols that regulate biotechnology. So I think federal government is taking the right step in the right direction. Well, so far so good, we say, because we had some GMO products in several of the superstores we have these products in their shelf. Of course, most Nigerians do not have the time to look at the content or the composition of or the ingredient of certain things that we buy off superstores. And the biotechnology management agency has taken taking the lead. They go to superstores, get to ensure that some of these products that are displayed in the shelves that are not gone through the regulatory process in Nigeria, are taken off the shelf. So I must tell us as a nation that we have to encourage them. This is a country that has a porous borders. Things, agricultural product, food come into Nigeria from different borders. I mean, borders are not well managed. And this product gets to the people who eat without a knowledge of what the content of this product are. So the management agency has taken this very seriously by ensuring that any biotechnology food or any GMO product in Nigeria is regulated, because there are several procedures they need to go through before they can come into the market. For instance, I'll give you an example. There was this one that we call, was it a Cameroon banana? I'm sure you must have seen that, very long, very beautiful and all that. And look at it. Nigeria, it was in vogue in Nigeria. I'm sure you don't see it anymore. Do you know the content of that banana? Nobody bought that. But the product is that Nigerians are hungry. You see banana, you want to eat banana. So the agencies have taken a far-reaching step to ensure that some of these products are taken off the market, taken off the shares of superstores, in the interest of the citizens of Nigeria. Well, the legal framework, I must tell you, is very robust. It provides for a lot of procedure and processes in introducing safety food in Nigeria, or what is GMO food. The Biotechnology Management Agency has a lot of regulatory powers. They regulate everything to do with this GMO product coming to the country. And so far so good. The part make far-reaching provision. Apart from the regulation it provides it for, it also makes provision for existing laws on liability, both civil and criminal in Nigeria. So it's very, very comprehensive and all-encompassing. I think it's a very wonderful piece of legislation. Well, like NAFDA has been existent for a while, just that many people probably didn't appreciate what they were doing. I think NAFDA is doing a lot of things, working collaboratively with agricultural research institutions across the country. I think NAFDA is on top of the game. They are responsible for deployment, they're responsible for promotion, development of biotechnology in Nigeria. I think they've done so well so far, creating awareness. Just that Nigerians find it a bit difficult embracing new technology. But I must tell you that if we must meet some of these our millennial development goals that were set over a period of time, we need to improve agricultural product in Nigeria and meet the food need of Nigerian citizens. Well, naturally, everything that is new is viewed with suspicion, especially when it has to do with things, the technology that are kind of alien to us. And I must tell you that some of these things are being resistant today, basically due to the fact that most Nigerians have not been educated enough, or they have not bothered to find out how the process or procedure of introducing biotechnology food, for instance, like GMO food into the country. The regulatory framework is very strict. They have to go through a series of experimentation, laboratory, and all that. They have to, no food can be introduced into Nigeria, GMO food, for instance, introduced to Nigeria without going through confined feed trials, where these processes are tested to be sure that they are fit for human consumption. So no GMO product is introduced to Nigeria or commercialized in Nigeria without going through strict regulatory framework. So I think the fear is unfounded, and many people are here to speak about this. I know many of them are not even well conversant or not conversant with the procedures adopted. We must have to go with the whole world. We cannot continue to remain in Nigeria and do things the way we used to do them. I expect that we must see changes. No, changes will have to come by introducing new things and doing things differently. And this is what biotechnology has brought it to Nigeria. Well, I think biotechnology, future of biotechnology in Nigeria is the way to go. I foresee that in the future, Nigeria will meet its agricultural need if biotechnology is properly deployed. So it has a whole lot of advantages. We cannot afford to be left behind in the use of this technology in agriculture in Nigeria.
Is that your final answer?
Yes, we cannot afford to be left behind. That's a whole lot of future in Nigeria. It is the way to go.
What is biotechnology?
Genetic improvements.
It seeks to improve life and solve problems.
Through either genetic engineering, through gene editing, or any of the method.
We have seen how science and technology has transformed our lives. This is science also. It's promising, and we have not seen what science has done that is devastating.
What is biotechnology?
Did you know that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe and do not pose any risk, hazard, or danger to human, animal, and the environment? Neither do they cause cancer, infertility, sterility, tumor, or any adversity. There is safe use of GMO drugs like insulin, vaccine, rapid diagnostic test kits for malaria, HIV, hepatitis, and so on. The safety of GMOs is certified by the World Health Organization, WHO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, the National Academies of Science globally, the Royal Society, UK, and over 110 prize Nobel laureates. GMOs are safe, effective, and certified by MBMA in Nigeria.
This message is brought to you by the Nigeria chapter of the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology OFAB, supported by the National Biotechnology Development Agency, NABDA.
It is time to say goodbye, but not before appealing that you take advantage of our feedback mechanism so we can serve you better. Thank you for your time, and bye for now.